Today we are going to solve Cambridge O-Level Physics paper, May June 2022, paper 1, variant 2. Question number 1. A force of 3 Newton and a force of 4 Newton act on an object. What is the maximum possible resultant of these two forces? For the maximum possible resultant, these forces should be added one after another, 3 and 4, and it will be equal to 5 Newton. If we are set to find the minimum, then it will be equal to 4 in this direction and 3 in this direction, which will be equal to 1 Newton. For the maximum we have 5 Newton, and for the minimum we have 1 Newton. So here we have to find the maximum possible resultant of these two forces, so 5 is the right answer. Question number 2. A length of copper wire is labeled length 0.50 meter and the diameter 0.50 millimeter. Which instruments are suitable to measure accurately the length and the diameter of the wire? For the length between 1 millimeter and 1 meter, we use meter rule. For the length between 1 millimeter and 1 meter, we use meter rule. So for the length, we are going to use meter rule. And the diameter, as it is less than 1 millimeter, so we are going to use micrometer screw gauge. So B is the right option. Length is measured with the help of meter rule and diameter with the help of micrometer. Question 3. The graph shows the speed time graph for a parachute who jumps from a plane but does not open his parachute immediately. At what point does he open his parachute? From O to A, the body is continuously decelerating, and from A to B, the body is moving with terminal velocity. At B, the parachute is open and the terminal velocity is the body is going to decelerate more and achieve another terminal velocity at D. From B to C, it is decelerating, and D, it will achieve the other terminal velocity. At B, the parachute is open. So B is the right option, where the parachute is open. Question number 4. A 60 kg passenger enter a stationary lift. The gravitational field strength G is 10 Newton per kg. How much force does the floor of the lift exerts on the passenger when the lift accelerates upward at 2 meter per second square? So first of all, we are going to calculate the weight of the passenger, which is equal to 60 multiplied by 10, as W is equal to mg, so it will be is equal to 600 Newton. And the force with which the body is accelerating will be equal to F is equal to ma, which is equal to F is equal to 60 multiplied by 2 is equal to 120 Newton. So the floor has to lift the body and also accelerate it. So the total force will be equal to W plus F1. If I write it at F1, so the total force will be is equal to 120 plus 600, which is equal to 720 Newton. So D is the right option. Question number 5. The diagram represents the moon in its orbit around the earth. Which arrow represents the direction of the resultant force acting on the moon at the instant shown? When a body moves in a circular path, a continuous force, centripetal force Fc, centripetal force, act on a body that moves the body in a circle, and this force is always directed toward the center of the circle. So A is the right option, because this force is directed toward the center of the circle. Question number 6. A measuring cylinder containing water is placed on a balance. A stone is placed into the water. The diagram shows the reading on the balance and on the measuring cylinder. What is the density of the stone? So first of all, the volume before the stone is equal to 20 and the mass before the stone is 55 gram and it is centimeter cube. Volume after the stone is equal to V2 is equal to 35 centimeter square, sorry, centimeter cube, and mass is equal to 92.5 gram V1 M1. So the change in volume is equal to V2 minus V1, which will be equal to 15 centimeter cube, and change in mass will be equal to M is equal to M2 minus M1, and which will be equal to 92.5 minus 55, 37.5 grams. So as we know that density is equal to mass per unit volume, so the density will be equal to 37.5 divided by 15, and it will be equal to 2.5. So C is the right answer, 2.5 gram per centimeter cube. Question number 7. The diagram shows a uniform solid rectangle block of weight 50 Newton is pivoted at point P. Pivot point is P. The height of the block is 40 centimeter and the block width is 8 centimeter. Which horizontal force F just make the block start to rotate about point P? Okay. For the moment, we know that clockwise movement or clockwise torque is equal to anti-clockwise movement or anti-clockwise torque. As this is the pivot point, our force F will move the body in this direction. So it is clockwise movement. So F multiply by the perpendicular distance between the force and the pivot. The perpendicular distance between the force and the pivot is 40 centimeter. 40 centimeter. Now the other one. As this is 50 Newton acting on the center, so 50 Newton force will move it in the direction anti-clockwise. And what is the distance between the perpendicular distance between the pivot and the force of 50 Newton, which will be equal to 4 centimeter, not 8 centimeter, because it is between the width. It is 8 centimeter wide, and the distance between the point of action of force and the P will be equal to 4 centimeter, not 8 centimeter. So 40 multiplied on this side will be divisible on the other side, 4044, and your force will be 5 Newton. That just make the block start to rotate. Question number 8. The center of mass of a solid rectangular block is at its center. A small weight is also available. In which arrangement is the center of mass the lowest? With face X on the table. If face X on the table, this is the distance of center of mass. With face Y on the table, this is the center of mass. Okay, for here X is the wrong answer because Y is less than X. With face X on the table and heavy weight attached centrally on the top of block, if a weight is placed over here, more mass will be, if for X it will be placed over here. You have to consider it horizontal. So center of mass will be shifted upward because more mass is concentrated on upside. So it is also wrong. Center of mass will be up for this purpose. Same for the Why? If mass is placed over here, the center of mass will be changed from here to somewhere upside because more mass is concentrated on the upper side. So this is also wrong. So which option is right? B. With face Y on the table, center of mass will be lower. Yeah, lowest. Question number 9. The graph show how the extension of a spring depends on the force applied. Which point is the limit of proportionality? We know that limit of proportionality is that point from where permanent deformation starts, and it is represented in the graph where the curve is going to start. So C is the right option. It is the limit of proportionality. Before limit of proportionality, if we stop applying the force, the body comes back to its original position till the limit of proportionality. And after the limit of proportionality, if the applied force is stopped, the body is not going to come back to its original position. There will be an extension in its length. Question number 10. An elastic spring has an unstretched length 30 cm. A load of 6 Newton is hung from the spring and the length of the spring is now 66 cm. The 6 Newton load is removed and the spring returned to its original length. So limit of proportionality is not achieved. A load of 2 Newton is now hung from the spring. What is the new length of the spring? Okay, what is the extension in the string? Extension will be equal to 36 cm because it is the unstretched length and this is the stretch length. So what will be the extension? Extension will be 66 minus 30, which is equal to 36 for a force of 6 Newton. If 36 extension is 6, what will be the extension for a load of 2 Newton? X is equal to 2 multiplied by 36 divided by 6, 6 1, 6, 6, and it is equal to 12. So extension will be 12 centimeter. Now what is the new length of the spring? For the new length of the spring will be equal to 42 centimeter. 30 plus 12 is equal to 42. So the new length of the spring is 42 centimeter. Question number 11. A barometer is an instrument used to measure atmospheric pressure. In one type of barometer, the height of a liquid in a tube is measured. In which diagram does the height h represent atmospheric pressure? Okay, a barometer is a shape like this or could be this because barometer is not open from the upside, or this is manometer, not the barometer. Okay, in barometer the tube is not filled with air. The tube is not filled with air. So C is the wrong answer. D is the right option. In barometer we have vacuum in the tube. We have vacuum in the tube. Question number 12. A manometer contains mercury of density 14,000 kg per meter cube. The manometer is connected to a gas supply and the difference in the height of the mercury level is 72 millimeter, which is shown over here. The atmospheric pressure is 100 kilopascal and the gravitational field strength is 10 Newton per kg. So what is the pressure of the gas supply? As we know that pressure is equal to rho GH. So pressure will be equal to 14,000, the density, multiplied by 10, the gravitational field strength, and height. As height is in millimeter, so by converting 72 into 10 raised to power minus 3. So pressure will be equal to 10080 pascals. Now we know that at this point air pressure, the atmospheric pressure, is also applicable. So the total pressure P is equal to P atmospheric plus P dash. So P is equal to 100k. 100k mean 100,000 plus 10080. So pressure will be equal to 100, sorry, 110080. 110080. So 110080 is approximately equal to 110 kilopascal. So C is the right option. Question number 13, which device provide a continuous steady energy output for the longest time? So steady energy and for the longest time. Solar panel and wind generator are not the steady energy output. They are going to get off when there is no wind or there is no sunlight. A 1.5 volt cell or a nuclear reactor. So a nuclear reactor is a steady source and it is for the longest time. So A is the right answer. Question number 14. A load is pulled by a rope attached to a motor. The resultant force by the rope on the load is shown in the diagrams. In each diagram, the load moves in the direction of the force shown and takes 10 seconds to travel 1 meter. 10 seconds to travel 1 meter. In which diagram the motor works with the great power? Power is equal to work done over time, or power will be is equal to force into displacement divided by time. For the first, power will be is equal to force will be equal to 12 multiplied by displacement 1 meter divided by 10 seconds, so it is 1.2 pascals. Power will be 1 by 2, sorry, not pascals, watt. Power will be equal to 1.2 watt. For the 8 Newton, it is 8 multiplied by 1 divided by 10 and it is 0.8 watt. For 10 Newton, 10 multiplied by 1 divided by 10 is equal to 1 watt. And for D, 4 multiplied by 1 divided by 10 and it is equal to 0.4 watt. So A is the right answer, in which the power will be the greatest. Question number 15. The electrical energy supplied to a kettle is 600 kilojoule. So it is the applied supply, so it is the input supply or the input energy. Of this energy, 45 kilojoule is transferred to the surrounding and 15 kilojoule is used to heat the casing of the kettle. So these are the losses. The remaining energy is used to heat the water. What is the efficiency? So our output energy, useful output will be is equal to 600 minus 45 and minus 15, and it will be equal to 540. So now efficiency will be is equal to 540 divided by 600, which is equal to 0.90. So B is the right answer. Question 16. How is heat energy transferred through the vacuum of space from the sun to the moon surface? It could not be conduction. For the conduction, you have the molecules. In vacuum, there are no molecules. It could not be convection, because for the convection, you also need the movement of molecules from one place to the other place. It is radiation. Electromagnetic radiations move your heat energy from sun to the moon. Question number 17. A metal cube contains boiling water. Each vertical face of the cube is painted a different color or has a different texture. Identical thermometers are held at equal distance from each vertical face. Near which face does the thermometer read the greatest temperature? As we know that dull and black, dull texture and the black color are the best absorber and the best emitter. So A is the right option, because dull texture and black color are the best absorber and the best emitter. So we have the greatest temperature at dull black. Question number 18. A liquid column in a liquid in glass thermometer is 2 cm long at 0 degree centigrade. The column expands by 10 cm when heated to 100 degree centigrade. Measuring from P, how long it is the liquid column at 30 degree centigrade. As we know that for 100 degree centigrade, the expansion is 10 centimeter. So for 30 degree, the expansion will be x. By the ratio method, x is equal to 3 centimeter. This 3 centimeter is after 0 degree centigrade, which is here. Now we have to find the distance from the point P. As we measured it from point P, it will be equal to 5 centimeter. 3 centimeter plus 2 centimeter is equal to 5 centimeter. Question number 19. A liquid in glass thermometer consists of a bulb containing a liquid which expands into a thin capillary tube. The liquid in thermometer is replaced by the same volume of a different liquid that expands more. It means that it is more sensitive for the same temperature. The length of the capillary tube remains the same. How does the new thermometer compare with the old thermometer? It is greater sensitive, that is right, and a greater range. No, it is not the greater range. It is greater sensitive, but it does not have the greater range because, for example, for 1 degree, our previous 1 degree centigrade, our previous liquid expand till here, and for 1 degree, our second liquid which expand more will be from here to here. So if our previous temperature give a total of 5 degrees centigrade, then our second will give only 3 degrees centigrade, not 5 degrees centigrade. So it is greater sensitive and smaller range. So B is the right answer. Question number 20. Steam at 110 degrees centigrade condenses on a surface to form water droplets at 10 degrees centigrade. 100 degrees centigrade. What happened after the steam come into contact with the surface? As our steam, which is at 110 degrees centigrade, come in contact with the surface and its temperature become 100 degrees centigrade from 110 degrees centigrade. So they are going to lose their energy and they emit their energy to the surrounding. And in the same way, their kinetic energy become less. And they slow down. The molecules slow down. So B is the right option. The molecules slow down and emit energy to the surrounding. Question number 21. Which lists show the states of matter in order of expansion from smallest to greatest for the same temperature rise? Expansion smallest to greatest. We know that the solid expand smallest and the gases expand the greatest. The liquid is in between the solid and the gas. So D is the right option. Solid expand the smallest, liquid expand the most and smallest, and liquid in between them. Question 22. Which row describe the boiling and the evaporation of a liquid? So first of all, we are going to check boiling. Bubbles form throughout the liquid. Yes, this happened in boiling. Occurs at any temperature? No. Boiling occurs at a specific temperature. So these two options are wrong. Now evaporation only occur at one temperature. No, evaporation occur at all temperatures. So it is wrong. Yes, when evaporation occurs, it produces cooling. So B is the right option. Question number 23. A hair dryer is used to blow air across the surface of water in a beaker. So that the water evaporates. What increase the rate of evaporation of water? Decreasing the speed of air from the hair dryer? No. By increasing the speed, it could be if they will gain more energy, the molecules on the upper surface, and they evaporate quickly. Decreasing the mass of the water? No. Increasing the surface area of the water? Yes. Increasing the surface area increase the rate of evaporation. So C is the right option. Okay, last one. What is the last one? Increasing the volume of the water in the beaker? No, it will not going to increase the rate of evaporation. Question number 24. The diagram show a ray PQ reflected by a mirror X to a parallel mirror Y. The reflected ray along RS is parallel to PQ. So this RS is parallel to this PQ. Which statement is correct? The angle PQ and between PQ and QR is 45. PQ and QR, the angle between them is 90 degree, not 45 degree. Okay, the angle between QR and RS, it is also 90 degree. It is not 180 degree. The angle of incidence of PQ of mirror X is 60 degree. If I draw the normal of this one, then it will be angle of incidence which is 45, and same the angle of reflection is 45, so it is also incorrect. The angle of incidence for QR, for QR, I am erasing this one so we could understand it easily. So the angle between QR, the angle of incidence of QR is 45. Yes, if this is 45, then it will also be equal to 45. The angle of incidence is 45 degree because the angle of incidence and the angle of reflection is equal to 90 degree and half of which is 45. So D is the right option. Question number 25. An object is viewed through a thin converging lens. The diagram shows the path of two rays from the top of the object to an eye. Okay, how does the image compare with the object? Now we have to find where the image will be formed and what it look like. So the image will be formed over here. And from this we can see that the image is larger than the object and it is upright. Upright means the both have the same direction, or the both are in the same like if my object is candle is in this shape, the object is also in the same shape, so it is known as upright. If my candle is like this and I see the image like this is called inverted image. So from here we can see that our object and our image both are in the same direction, so it is upright. So it is large and upright. So B is the right option. Question number 26. Violet and indigo light have the shortest wavelength in the spectrum of visible light. Which two rays in order of increasing wavelength immediately follows indigo? Okay, I know that we have remembered a code word ROY GB IV, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo and violet. So these two have the shortest wavelength. These two have the shortest wavelength. Okay, which three colors in order of increasing wavelength after indigo? So blue, then green, then yellow. Increasing, like blue has the smallest, green has larger than blue wavelength, and yellow is the most largest among blue and green. So blue, green, yellow. Where is blue, green, yellow? We have the option B. Blue, green, then yellow. You have to remember ROY, GB, IV. Question number 27. A sound wave passes through a substance. The diagram shows the position of molecules of the substance at one point in time. Which type of wave is a sound wave and what is at x? Okay, we know that sound wave is a longitudinal wave. Sound wave is a longitudinal wave containing compressions and rarefactions. Compressions and rarefaction. Okay, compression is the point, x is the compression point. Why x is the compression point? Because here our wave is compressed, or you can see that the molecules are compressed together. So here density is high and pressure is also high. So at x we have compression, and which type of wave it is? It is a longitudinal wave. So A is the right option. Question number 28. A man stands between two tall buildings P and Q. He is 50 meters from P and 200 meters from Q. He sounds a horn. He hears the first echo from building P. As building P is close to it, so he is going to hear the first echo from building P. And after 1 second of that echo, he hears the second echo from building Q. Second echo means first echo from building Q. The first echo from building Q. What is the speed of sound calculated using this information? Okay. We know that our sound has to travel 100 meter over here. How 100 meter? 50 for going toward the building P and 50 coming back toward the building P. So our wave travel total 100 meter over here. And here our wave will travel total of 400 meters. 200 meter traveling toward building Q and 200 meter traveling toward from building Q to toward the person or the man who make the horn. Okay, now the after first echo, the first is still the first echo, our wave reach over here. It both of the wave moving toward building Q or toward Q has traveled a distance of 100 meter. So our 100 meter comes over here. So now our wave have to travel 300 more meter. So distance they travel after the first echo is 300 meter, and for the time for this 300 meter is 1 second, because the difference of time between the first echo and the second echo is 1 second. So this 300 meter is traveled in 1 second. So velocity is equal to distance by time, and it will be equal to 300 divided by 1. So it is 300 meter per second. So B is the right option. Question number 29. What is one of the use of ultrasound? Okay, I know the use of ultrasound is cleaning jewelry. Ultrasound is a sound wave. So fluorescent tubes are not using sound waves, they are using EM wave, electromagnetic wave or light wave. Optical fiber use electromagnetic light waves. Sunbeds, in sunbeds we use ultraviolet radiation, which is also electromagnetic waves. So these three are the wrong options, and cleaning jewelry is the right option. Question number 30. A positively charged rod is held near an uncharged metal sphere on an insulating stand. What is we have metal sphere, insulating stand, and a charged rod. What is the distribution of the charge on the sphere? Now we know that positive charge is going to attract the negative charge. So the negative or the electron, we can say that, move to the surface of this sphere. Move toward the surface of this sphere. What is left behind? Left behind are the positive ions without electrons. Positive ions without electrons, those electrons are travel toward the charged rod. So which one is the right option? A is the wrong option because it contains all the positive charges. B contains all the negative charges. C is the right option because it has negative on the right side and positive on the left side. And one thing more to remember, the positive and negative should be equal. If there are 4 positive, then there should be 4 negative, because a metal sphere which is uncharged have equal number of protons and electrons, so the charge is equal. Neutral means zero. So after designing like positive charges and the negative charging, they must be equal, so the resultant charge will be equal to 0. And D is the wrong option, because positive and positive repel each other, not attract each other. Question number 31. Two metal spheres are mounted on insulating stand. Sphere X is initially uncharged and sphere Y is initially positive charge. So we have a positive charge at Y. A metal rod held by an insulating handle is placed in contact with X and Y as shown. What are the charges on X and Y after the rod is placed in contact with them? When we have X and Y, X is uncharged, Y is charged, Y is positively charged, so the electron from the X will move toward Y. When electron move toward Y, X become positively charged, and Y, which is positively charged, will use the electron, and some of its positive charge is removed, or we can say that shifted toward the X metal sphere. So for the distribution of charges, for the equal distribution of charges, both the X and Y become positively charged. It is not like this that Y is uncharged, Y become uncharged and X become charged. No, some of the electrons from the X move toward Y and combining with the positive charge, making it somehow neutral, but there remains some positive charge on it. So we have the right option. Charge on X is A and charge on Y is also A, because both become positive. Both become positive. Question number 32. The diagram shows a simple electric circuit. Which row describes the charge on an electron and direction of electron flow through the resistor? We know that charge on electron is negative and charge on proton is positive. And electron flow from the negative terminal of battery toward the positive terminal of the battery. So electron will flow from here to here. So it will move from Y to X. So charge on electron negative and move from Y to X. So B is the right option. Question number 33. Charge of 0.40 coulomb passes through the resistor in 1 second. So this is your charge and this is your time. In 2 seconds, this is, let's suppose we can say that T2, time T2 and 20 joule of energy. 20 joule of energy, so we will write it as E produced in the resistor. What is the potential difference across the resistor? We know that P is equal to VI, P is equal to energy divided by time is equal to VI, and energy will be equal to VIT. What time we are going to take here? We are going to take T2 over here, because for 2 seconds 20 joule of thermal energy is produced. So we are going to use time T2. Now from this equation we can calculate potential difference if we know the current, and we know that current I is equal to charge by time, charge passing through in unit time, or charge passing in charge divided by time. I is equal to 0.40 divided by 1, which is equal to 0.40 ampere. Now what is V? V will be equal to E is 20 divided by current is multiplied over here divided on the other side, which is equal to 0.40 multiplied by time 2. So it will become 2 10. V is equal to 10 divided by 4, T divided by 100. Removing the point, it will become 100, 0 is cancelled with 0, 100 divided by 4, which is equal to 25. So what is the potential? 25 watt. You can easily calculate it with the help of calculator. because calculator is allowed in your paper. Question number 34. The diagram show a simple electric circuit. Which meter measure the current in resistor R2? So for the current in the resistor R2 is measured with the help of which ammeter? Which ammeter? We know that for this resistor we can use D. We can use D. So the current in the resistor 2 will be measured with this ammeter. Or if the question is changed or asked to you how much total current pass through it, so you can write either C or A, either C or A, because if we say that current flows from here, so the total current come here and divided into three different parts, and after passing through three different parts it's also recombined, and the same current that flows from A will pass from C. So D is the right option for the current. If you are asked about the voltage, so you are going to use B. You are going to use B. For this particular question, the answer is D. The answer is D. Question number 35. When the flash on a camera is used, a charge 1.5 coulomb, charge Q is equal to 1.5 coulomb for time of 0.0030 second through the flash lamp. The average voltage across the flash lamp is 336,000 watt. What is the electrical energy supplied to the flash lamp, and what is the average power supplied? We know that P is equal to VI. We know that P is equal to V and I is equal to Q divided by T. For this, P is equal to 3600 multiplied by 1.5 divided by 0.0030, and it will be equal to 1.8 into 10 raised to power 6 watt. So D is the right option. From this particular value of P, which is only present at D, we can assume that our result is D. You can also calculate energy by using the formula E is equal to P multiplied by T. As we know that P is equal to E by T and E is equal to P multiplied by T. By using the value of time and power, you can calculate energy, which will be equal to 5400 joules. Question number 36. The diagram shows an electric circuit in which we have L1, L2 and L3 are the three lamps, and S1, S2 are the two switches connected with the 6 volt supply. Which lamp lights when the switch S2 is closed and S1 is closed and S2 is open? This one is closed and this one is open. So my current will flow from here to here. So from V2 the current is passing from L1 and L2. No current is passing from L3 because this circuit is open. This circuit is open. So V2 lamps, which lamps are going to glow? L1 and L2 only. Question number 37. The diagram show a hair dryer. Which statement explain why the hair dryer does not need an earth wire? It has a live wire. Many devices, all devices which have live wire, we can say that many devices, because this device also have live wire but does not have earth wire. So many devices have, all the devices have live wire, but that not necessary that it does not have a earth wire. It has a neutral wire? No. It has double insulation? Yes. Our hair dryer has double insulation. Double insulation means the wires and the plastic on the body of the dryer. It is called double insulation. The cable insulated, other devices are also have cable insulation, but they also have earth wire. So due to double insulation, this hair dryer do not have an earth wire. Question number 38. A left hand can be used to determine the direction of the force when a current carrying conductor is perpendicular to magnetic field. Which quantities are represented by the fingers P, Q and R? As we are going to discuss the left hand rule. The left hand rule. Perpendicular left hand rule. So P, we know that thumb is always representing force. It is always representing force. Q is in the direction of the magnetic field. Magnetic field. And R will show the direction of the current. And R will show the direction of the current. This is the direction of conventional current. This is the direction of conventional current. So force, field and current. Question number 39. As a magnet is moved into the coil of wire as shown, there is a small positive reading on the sensitive ammeter. Which changes must increase the size of the reading? So we know that by increasing the strength of magnetic field. Strength of magnetic field or number of turns of coil. Increasing number of turns of coil. Increasing number of turns of coil or fast moving the coil or magnet. Fast moving the coil or magnet, we can generate more reading on ammeter. So moving the opposite pole into the coil is not the right option. Pulling the magnet out of the coil is not the right option. Pushing the magnet in faster is the right option. Fast moving of the coil or magnet. Unwinding some of the turn will going to decrease the reading, not going to increase the reading. Question number 40. Electrical power is transmitted by cables over long distance at very high voltages. What are the effects of using a high voltage transmission system? When we increase the voltage, the current become low. Due to low current, there will be low current losses or there are less losses in the cable. So D is the right option, in which our power loss in the cable is low and the current in the cable is also low. Okay guys, see you soon. Please like the video and subscribe the channel.